Hi guys, what's going on? Today I'm going to be showing you how to install and properly set up SOF Mod Pack version 17.1.0. We have switched back to using SOF Mod Pack due to the conflicting issues of coming up with names for all of them. So yeah, we are back to the regular version build, which we are on the 17th installation of the SOF Mod Pack. First thing we're going to go through is basically when you get it, you'll be left with a folder. This folder contains most of the more key components to the mod pack than, let's say, JSRS and A3MP. So that's why this one is the major compilation of everything. So inside here, you will see that you will have at ammo, at base, at medical, at packs, at radio, info, and install files. The ones you are going to be installing are at ammo through at radio. All these guys right here. Those are going to be going into your Arma 3 root directory. Now, in the install files, we have more, but we'll touch base on that later. So, the easiest way to get to the Arma 3 root directory would be, well, we could just go through here. Go to your local disk, go to your program files. If you have a 32-bit system, it might be under just program files, but if you have 64, most likely it's installed under x86. And then we're going to go down to Steam. And then Steam Apps, Common, Arma 3. So this is your root directory of Arma. From here, this is where basically the core of Arma is all held here. As you can see, I have a few different types of mods, but majorly just what the SOF Mod Pack is. Alright, so let's open up the Mod Pack again. So at this point, you've already extracted the Mod Pack onto your desktop. And we'll just side by side here. So what you would do is you would take these and you drag them in to your root directory. So don't make sure don't to put them inside of a folder, because that'd be bad. Try to put them inside, move, like mine will say, move to Arma 3 instead of move to MP missions. So I'm not going to do that because I already have mine installed. So I have at ammo, at base, at atmosphere, which is A3MP, the map pack, JSRS, medical, packs, and radio. So the total thing you need to be running Arma 3 on our server is at ammo, at atmosphere, or that can even be recalled to A3MP. So A3MP, at ammo, at base, JSRS 2.1, at medical, at packs, and at radio. A full list will be on the dev team forums on our website of what you should be running while you're playing on our server. Okay, so the next part, after you move these files into here and you download JSRS and A3MP, it's the same installation as these when you download these. A3MP is a little bit tricky. Sometimes there's three different options that you can do. You can download them by torrent, you can download them by 3 partitions, which are 3 parts. So you download all 3 parts and you extract one part into your Arma 3 root directory, and all the other parts, once they're done downloaded and everything, when you extract, they will come with it, so you only have to extract one of the zips. So repeat that again. If you download the 3-part repository for A3MP. You download all three, so you have 1, 2, 3, and it says part 1, part 2, part 3. You click on part 1, you extract it to ARMA3 root directory, and all part 2 and part 3 automatically come with it. It's kind of weird, but they're synced with each other. So you only have to do that once. Or there's a total pack where it has all of A3MP within one zip file, or then a torrent, which will do probably the total pack too. So A3MP, this is roughly around 6 gigs raw, not compressed. So that's a big file to download, but you need it to run on our mod server. Unless if we're playing an Altisop, but that's not suggested to skip out on A3MP, because it is very nice and adds very more diverse things that we can do. And then JSRS just comes in a folder like this when you extract it, and we'll have at JSRS. You just drag that in to the ARMA3 root directory. So these two you have to download from Armaholic, and they are located within the Mod Pack version 17 forum post. Okay, so at this point we got the JSRS, the A3MP, and all of the consecutives that are within the mod pack that you downloaded. Alright, then we're going to go to install files. Now there's a few install files in here. The first thing you want to do is grab this user config folder. The user config folder will go into your ARMA3 root directory just like you installed the A3MP and all the others. You just go drag it in there and you're done. Again, I already have mine set up as right here. And inside, virtually the same, Acre, VTS Weapon Resting, and X39. These, when you initialize ARMA, they call on these config files. That's all they are. They're just little HPP config files that tell it what to do. So this one's saying Control Shift. It kind of allows it to have user actions with your keyboard. So this is VTS Weapon Rest, and you press Control and space, and so define Shift, Control, Alt. So Control, space bar, it knows what it's doing. Too much in depth with that one, but that's basically how it works. It just sets up keybinds within the game, and the game will not start without the user config. Okay. The next thing is the Acre plugins. Now there is Acre inside here that is inside at radio. What you're going to want to do is open up the Acre plugins folder. Take these and you want to cut these. So I'm going to go right click, cut. Now we have to find the root directory of TeamSpeak. So let's go over here, file browser, here, x86, and we just want to find TeamSpeak right here, TeamSpeak 3 client. And then in here, there's a plugins folder that's already here, and you just right click and paste. Now I already have them in here. You need both Windows 32-bit and Windows 64-bit. It won't work if you only put one of, like, let's say your computer's a 32-bit and you think you don't need the 64. You need both. It doesn't actually mean what you think it means. And you have to cut them. Do not copy them. It creates a temporary file within the DLL which screws it up. So just make sure to cut and paste, not copy and paste. Or you can even just drag them over if you want, that's fine too. So after you have that, so you just dragged the Acre plugins into your TeamSpeak 3 client root directory under the plugins folder. And that's done. Alright, so at this point you've fully installed um, the physical file aspect of 17.1. Wasn't really hard, you just dragged and dropped the packs into Armor 3 root directory and installed the plugins in the TeamSpeak root directory. Or, not root directory, TeamSpeak's root directory plugins folder. Okay. Next, you have one more thing that is optional. It's called the VAS preloader. A PBO is a mission file or a database file for a mod. This PBO is a mission, and so what we're going to do is we're going to go to Arma 3 root directory, and there's empty missions and missions. Open up missions, and I already have it in here, but if you don't, just drag and drop VAS preloader into there. And I'll be going over that of how to use that once we actually enter Arma. Okay. Alright, so with that optional thing set aside, minimize that. Now all we have left to do is pick an Arma launcher. Basically there's two kinds right up here, Arma 3 Sync and Arma 3 Launcher. I've used Arma 3 Launcher for a very long time, ever since I started using mods, but it ends up kind of being a little funky at some points. Like if I install a new mod, I have to exit it and then reopen it for it to refresh its cache for what mods I currently have in my Arma 3 root directory. And so I've kind of struggled away from this and went to Arma 3 Sync. Arma 3 Sync is a repository system and an Arma 3 launcher. Repository as in like download a mod pack from an FTP. We do not currently own FTP, so we do not use the repository aspect of that. We just use it straight for launching Arma. So it's up to you. I have Arma 3 Launcher and Arma 3 Sync within. Just simple rar opens up into an executable to install the program. Completely safe. Most of all of our members have that. Arma 3 Sync is a trusted vendor through Armaholic that has created it. He also helped design add-on sync for Arma 2, and that's a very widely used one, and this is just an executable. Just to install it. And that is it. The info is just little PDFs that came with when I was compiling all the mod packs. So you have Acre. It has instructions, but this video is going to be much more manual on how to use the MCC, and then just random things about NATO weapons pack. So just all the class names and what weapons are within inside of it. But it's something, if you want to do a little reading, it's there for you. So that's it. So I am going to be using Arma 3 Sync to launch this. Arma 3 Launcher is pretty self-explanatory, so I won't go too much in depth into that. So Arma 3 Sync, I'm going to open that up right now. Another thing that I want to point out is how this little shield's here. That means I'm going to run it in administrative mode. Administrative mode is required for almost everything that you launch Arma with, and TeamSpeak too. Acre uses TeamSpeak to do the voice chatting. So as you see, I got shields on Arma 3 Launcher, Arma 3 Sync, and TeamSpeak 3 Client. How you do that is you right click on it, go to Properties, and then Compatibility, run this program as an administrator. Or you could just right click and run as administrator. It just allows the program to do a lot more than it's allowed to without having the restrictions through administrative mode. So basically, it just allows it to do more, and it makes Acre work. Sometimes you'll get pipe errors and stuff like that within Arma while you're playing. That's usually because someone forgot to enable um, administrative mode on these. If you do not have administrative mode like that you can access, well, then Arma's or Acre's not going to be a thing for you. Maybe stick to public. I don't know. I know we have a few younger folks in the group that might not own the computer, and their parents set restrictions. If you can't do administrative mode, talk to your parents, do something. But administrative mode is required on everything from Steam. Bring over Steam 2 over here. That has the shield. So Steam, TeamSpeak, and your launcher required to be running administrative while trying to play Acre in Arma 3. Alright. So, alright. Admin mode, always. Okay. So, in here, this is the basic layout of Arma 3 Sync. It'll automatically find your add-ons by seeing the @ sign in front of the folder. That's why you see @ammo, @base, @blah blah 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 blah, and all these mods. It's because that indicates that it's a mod. So I can press refresh, and it would refresh the add-ons that I currently have available to me. And then I also have different presets. So as you see, I have SOF 17.1. I'll show you what I just did there right now. This is because back before I renamed broadcast or atmosphere to A3 and B, and it didn't recognize that change because it still wants to look for that. But I have it in my current list right here. So what you want to do is we'll delete this guy, and we'll add a group. So I'm just right clicking and I'm adding a group. I'm going to call this SOF Mod Pack version 17.1. Okay, so now I get an extra folder or a repository for what I want to use SOF Mod Pack for. And it's a drag and drop. So I need A3MP, I need @ammo, I need @base, I need JSRS 2.1, @medical, @packs, and @radio. And so right now in this little preset, I have everything I need to start and play efficiently on the SOF modded server. And how to enable those is just checkmark. They all consecutively checkmark, and then you're done. If you want to have a vanilla one, you can either just uncheck them all and start game, or create a vanilla one and check this one and then start game. This might be a little buggy. I would not suggest doing this. I would just uncheck everything and start Arma, telling it not to run. If you use per se parameters, like right now here's my parameters. I'm not going to go through how to do this. There are guides on the internet, on Armaholic and the BI forums, of what's best for your computer. But there's simple ones like right here: no splash, default world empty, no logs. You can check mark these; those are fine. When you do stuff like this, how much memory you want to use, how much CPU core count, how much external threads you want to use. You can drop down these boxes and mess around with it. It just makes your game run better. You're telling for max memory, I want to use this much memory. I want to use 4 of my cores, all 4 of my cores. But no, I don't want to do that. So right now I'm running no logs, CPU count 3, extended thread 7, high, max memory 8194, no pause, no splash, world empty. And this just makes my Arma start up real quick and prevents lags throughout the game, so I have really good time using this. This could also help your VAS load faster by increasing your CPU count. And you can do that just by dragging down, pick how many you want. Alright, so other than that, that's all there really is to this. If you want to go into it, if you go into Arma, it does display the IP address and the port. You can add these by clicking Add New Server, right click, name it, do whatever you want. And what I did is I did SOF Modded Server, the IP address and the port, and the SOF Pub Server, and stuff like that. Go back to add-ons, I want to run the SOF Mod Pack version 17.1, and join server, just don't join a server, or I want to join the modded server. And I can't join the modded server right now because it's on vanilla right now, so I know this would be dumb. So we're just not going to join any server, but that would automatically connect you to the modded server, so you wouldn't have to wait around. But for right now, I look good. I have all the things I need, so we're going to launch Arma with the SOF Mod Pack version 17.1 enabled and all checkmarked. Game version, just stay on Arma 3. Start game. So this takes a little bit, depending on what the mod size is, and this right now is currently probably sitting at almost 10 gigs with the A3MP and all this other stuff, so it takes a little bit. Slower computers might take a little longer to load up, but once you're in there, it runs like the natural game. And my phone just went off. Okay. So now one way to make sure that you run your mods is go to Configure, Expansions, and you'll have all this SOF radio, or medical and radio. That is because I forgot to change the mod CPP on it, and this just labels what the mod is, and that doesn't do anything. Just there's not a proficient way to see what you're looking at, but you'll know once you get in game, especially if you can join the server. You can see we're running the correct amount of mods, just Arma 3, and then everything preceding counts up to be the right amount. Alright, now we're going to go to Editor, and we're going to go to, let's go to a new mod map. Chenaroos. Everyone knows Chenaroos. Okay, so we are in Chenaroos now. You can see it's just the editor. If you've played around the editor, you know what this looks like. And turn on some textures here. Now this isn't a tutorial, this is just me showing you what stuff will probably look like, and go through a very simple way to start up Acre a little bit and go through your user actions that you need. And here we are. So as you can see, fully functional map. If you've never heard JSRS before, here's your chance. Throw a grenade, back up. Just cool little noises like that. It gets really cool with going into like full battlefields and stuff. That's where the fun is. Like, you can hear it in the distance. You hear the choppers all have different sounds. It's just bullets fly next to you. I guess you really can't hear that. But the first thing we're going to do is configure controls, and you see up here, you'll usually start at common. These are all your controls. You want to go down to custom controls, user action 1, and you want to double click this and set this to Y, and user action 2, set it to U. What this will do is, this is your medical system. Y is self-interact. Remember that self-interact is Y. And then U is other person interact. This is pulling someone out of a vehicle, mainly fixing them up, going over to them, giving bandage, epinephrine, morphine, tourniquet, blood bag, all that stuff is accessed through U. So this is other player interaction or user interaction, and then Y is your self interaction. So Y and U, very important keys. You want to set those up for you can heal your battle buddies in the field. So don't forget these. Set these up right away. And then there is Acre. I will be posting a video, or there should be a video posted on the mod pack forum of how to use Acre. And he'll go through all the controls with you. But the main thing you want to hear, if everything's set up correctly, is my phone went off again. The main thing you want to hear is this noise. That's not transmitting for me. Okay, well, you're supposed to hear like a radio chime up. I'm probably not connected to TeamSpeak right now. I don't think I am. Yeah, I'm not. It only activates when you have your plugin enabled for TeamSpeak and you are in-game. And you would press caps lock and it would work. Oh, that reminds me. I'm going to go to multiplayer and push to talk. Oops. Push to talk, you want to change this to tab. Main reason is because caps lock is used by Acre now, and you don't want to be double broadcasting over in-game radio and over TeamSpeak at the same time. So the way to work around that is just change push to talk to tab, and then voice over net can stay the same. Just if you double tap caps lock, it will stay on, and then you'll hot mic, and that's not good. By default, push to talk is caps lock. That's why we're changing it to tab. Okay. Continue. So yeah, that's basically it. We are in Chinars, part of the map pack. Really can't show you too much else. I'm definitely not going to do a MCC tutorial, but you can kind of see how I can get a Basque going up real quick here. Let's do vehicles. You know, let's just pop ourselves down a Humvee. Yeah, let's make that empty. And let's put a VAS in it real quick. Pop that down. Virtual ammo box, and you can see there's a shit ton of weapons. A lot of weapons, a lot of uniforms, a lot of cool stuff. If you've been in this unit a long time, you know that most of these mods and nothing's really changed. Just that now I've kind of perfected it. It's in a stable build now, and I want to keep it that way. And we'll go over vast loading problems also. So right now this is you can see a uniform pack by Mazzy, the US MARSOC Marine Corps pack, with the NATO Spetsnaz M48 Desert MRCO, which is just a scope for the MRCO. good sounds. Loud, yeah. Good old AR rifle. So yeah, that's it for in-game Arma. Let's go over to the VAS preloader. Again, I do apologize that this video is very long. It's just some people take more time than others, and I want to go through this as thoroughly as possible for people to get the concept and people can rewind. It's better than just reading a 2-page long document that I usually make. Alright, so we're going to go to Play, Scenarios, and right up here, remember when we installed that VASP preloader? Virtual Ammo Box System Preloader, or VASP. That's what we're going to do. We're going to play that. And so what VASP Preloader does is it preloads all of your stuff real quick. So right now, if you see on the top right, it says weapons good, items good, magazines good, backpacks good, glasses good. If everything marked as good, then you are ready. So what it does is that it runs through the sequence real quick, and then VASP loads faster on client side than server side. And so when you first start up Arma, VASP has not loaded yet. And hopefully by the time they got in the server it would load, but a lot of people have a problem with it not loading fast enough, and they'd be sitting there at the ammo box, come on, I need to go, get the op started. It's not going to work. It will work eventually, people just got to wait, but if it's you joining last minute, you're going to want to jump on the VASP preloader, VASP Virtual Ammo Box System preloader, and get it set up and then join the server, because once your VAS is loaded on the game client, it'll stay loaded throughout your session until you close Arma. So some people think that, oh, we're going to switch maps, my VAS isn't going to load. It's not true, because the game has already loaded VAS. The game hasn't fully initialized yet, and it's still VAS calls upon the game initialization, the config files, and the weapons. So it's a lot of mouthful. It's just this will make your VAS load, and try to run this anytime before you you get into the mod server. Alright, so that is VAS preloader. It wants to save where I'm at. I'll never probably come in here again. If you have a fast enough computer, you don't need to use this. I rarely ever have a problem with my VAS not loading. And that should do it for Arma. Alright. So next thing we're going to do is we're going to go in TeamSpeak. And I was already connected. In TeamSpeak. I just didn't have my plugin enabled. Alright, so TeamSpeak. Don't mind her. She's just trying to be happy to you. Alright, so yeah, I have 2 Captain Bennett's here. That's great. Alright, so in all seriousness, this is the most difficult part of installing that SOF Mod Pack, is getting the Acre installed right, moving the plugins folder. That seems to be a big problem right there. Where's the plugins folder for TeamSpeak? Well, I just showed you that. Next thing is you want to go into settings and plugins. Now Acre is kind of funky. I'll explain why. First off, the current version of TeamSpeak does not work with Acre, and in the forum post there is a link to downgrade your TeamSpeak. And how you do that is you uninstall TeamSpeak and you install it using the executable that it gives you. And that'll put you up to the current version of TeamSpeak. I could show you this right now.
Disconnected.
Close out that other one. Open up this. Yes, yes, yes.
Connected.
Move that over. Did I move it over fast enough? Oh, it didn't do it. Well, it'll usually ask you, do you want to update? You never want to click that from here on in until we're done using Acre. We want to be on 0.0.13.1. That is the maximum you can go if you want to run Acre. Otherwise, you'll go into settings, plugins, and click on Acre. This will never show up. This will give you a huge error, and it might even crash your TeamSpeak because the API is not set up for the new API that TeamSpeak came out with. Another issue you might have is that if you're not in game, you can't talk, and that's because of the Acre plugin. Just uncheck it if you're not playing on the mod server, and make sure that you're speaking by, like, it lights up. Like right now I'm speaking. Your push to talk won't work anymore. So just go into plugins, uncheck that, and you should be able to talk. And we go into options. Now again, you want your push to talk, so push to talk default. You want that to be something else than caps lock, because caps lock is used to transmit over the radio, whereas your push to talk will be transmitting directly, so your teammates can hear you like right in front of your face. So you want to always be broadcasting over the radio. Alright, so just make sure that your push to talk is not caps lock and not tab, because now we just changed tab to in-game. And then down here there's two options on this drop down: keyboard or mouse only and default. I want you to keep this on keyboard or mouse only. You're going to have to funky around with it. Maybe it will work, maybe it won't work. Just make it work. That's all I gotta say, is that if you go defaults, it sometimes will screw up your Acre in Arma, and then you just can't talk or you can't transmit, or something horribly wrong goes wrong. So keyboard or mouse only. Do not have caps lock as you push to talk or tab. And then if you want to play Arma, just go plugins, click it, you're done. And TeamSpeak must be enabled under administrative mode. So administrative mode on TeamSpeak, Steam, Arma 3 Launcher, or Arma 3 Sync. And that is it. So, without further ado, this is the tutorial on how to install the SOF Mod Pack version 17.1. I hope this was helpful. Please rewind to any parts that are precedent to any problems you're having, because right now all my stuff works, and I've had it working for a very long time, and I've also done a lot of videos about this. So trust me, it'll work if you just follow it step by step by step. Alright, you guys have a good one. This is SOF Bennett. Talk to you later.